Morning peeps, good morning everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe. All right, where to start? Quite a lot's happened in the last couple of days, right? Addy and G-Man, episode 5 will be out tomorrow. Me and G-Man filmed it last night. It's a bit longer than the usual episodes, which isn't a bad thing, just because there's been so much to talk about. We obviously talk about Egg Slap. Don't worry, I'm going to get to that as well. We look back on Saudi Arabia and we look ahead to the fights this weekend. You got Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach, which no one's talking about. I think that fight's going to be competitive until it isn't competitive. But yeah, still strange that no one's talking about one of the faces of boxing fighting this weekend. And we look ahead to Paddy Donovan versus Lewis Crocker, which I've been informed by a lot of people that have experienced the Irish boxing scene more than me, will be the best atmosphere I've ever seen. That's what I've been told. And I'm like, oh, steady. I'll give you my top 3 again for those that don't know. So my top 3, number 1, without a shadow of a doubt, Josh Warrington, Mauricio Lara, Headingley. Like, that ain't ever going to be touched. No one's ever beaten that. That's number 1. Number 2 is Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, Madison Square Garden. And number 3 is Lee Wood against Michael Conlon. Now, if that somehow gets in between that 3, then I'm in for a treat. I can't wait. I fly out to Belfast on Friday evening. And also, a lot of you guys have been asking for the Addy and G-Man videos to be on a podcast. They are now on podcast, or will be. So this episode will be on a podcast as well. Just search or type in Addy and G-Man. And I'm thinking about putting these episodes on a podcast as well. If I do, it'll be Ade Oladipo. That might happen. I'll let you guys know. All right. Only one place to start. Let's start at the press conference. Firstly, look, there's a press conference today, by the way, as well. 6 o'clock at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And what annoys me about this press conference is no fans are being allowed in. I don't understand. Fans make the press conferences because they just G people up. They start chanting as they did in Manchester. I don't understand the logic of not letting fans in. There's 2 things I don't like. Number 1, not letting fans in. And number 2, not allowing the press to ask questions. It's a press conference. I don't understand it. Now, the UFC have, I think, got it spot on. They don't have any managers or trainers on the stage, just the fighters. It's usually Dana White, and he goes straight to the press. Like, who's got the first question? And the crowd get involved. And the press conferences are funny. They're fantastic. They're energy. This one was, I think, as good as the UFC press conferences. I think it was really good. It was a 10 out of 10. In fact, no, a 9 out of 10. It wasn't a 10 because I said Ronnie Shields instead of Ronnie Davis. And look, okay. I accept the stick. A lot of people as well, for some reason, I don't know why. Well, actually, I do know why. Thought that was Turkey's number. It wasn't Turkey's number. And I'm not just saying that because everyone thinks I was going to get in trouble, which I clearly wasn't. But I've got Turkey's number. That wasn't Turkey's number. But look, I thought the press conference was just perfect. Honestly, it was perfect. You had Conor going at Ben Shalom. You had Ben Shalom going at Eddie Hearn. You had Nigel Benn going at Ben Shalom. You had Nigel Benn going at Ronnie Davis. You had Chris Eubank Jr. going at Eddie Hearn. I didn't even do shit. I just stood back. I was like, this is what I want. I don't like doing those things. Like I give a lot of credit to Dev. For some reason, people dig out Dev when he hosts these things. Those are not easy. They're not easy at all to do because you're trying to spice it up, and most times you got fighters that don't want to talk. So you do need an Eddie Hearn there or Ben Shalom who will talk. But obviously I was lucky on this occasion because you had Conor that wants to talk. You had Nigel that wanted to talk. You had Eddie that wanted to talk, even though Chris Eubank Jr. was doing his best to shut him down. You had Chris, who's just, he's the master of these things. Chris Eubank Jr. is the master of press conferences. He knows exactly what to say to get under everyone's skin. He even pissed me off when he corrected me about Ronnie Davis. It wasn't the fact he corrected me. It was how he corrected me. And I was like, in my head, I was just like, I was steaming. But I thought, okay, play it cool, Eddie. Play it cool. Just get the job done and we move on. Let's get to the main talking point, the egg slap. Now, personally, I think it's all fair in love and war. I will say this as well. That just sold out the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That slap alone, I mean, I had people reach out to me that have no interest in the sport of boxing, and they get me tickets. That slap alone put another 50,000 pay-per-view buys on the sell. It just did everything. Now, and it was just perfect because obviously the history with Conor Benn and eggs, and then so it's like a double whammy. You're getting slapped, which would fucking infuriate you, and then it's an egg. And then there's this perfect picture of Conor raging with egg falling down his face. I was like, okay, Chris Eubank, you won that press conference 10-7, not 10-8. It wasn't a knockdown, it was a knockout. It was a knockout. And I believe that if I'm Conor Benn, you've got to retaliate. You've got to retaliate. There's going to be... I thought the press conference would be off, and then I was told it was on. Obviously, I'm hosting this one as well. There's got to be so much security around because, like, Chris is quite cool. Chris isn't going to throw hands. Conor might throw hands. I know Conor, look, ultimately, he'll be stupid to do so because there's millions and millions on the line here, but you can't control your rage sometimes. You can't control it. You're going to be looking right at the man that slapped you with an egg. It's going to be difficult to control that, but they're going to have to. I was supposed to do a face-off yesterday. I was in this warehouse, which looked amazing. Honestly, I feel so sorry for everyone that organised this because the face-off was going to be something like you've never seen. Honestly, you normally with the face-offs, it's a table. Both guys are there and you just have a conversation. They fucking had cameras all over the place. They had mist. Picture like John Wick going into kind of like a dungeon, and the way sort of the smoke it was like that. And I was there, I was ready, and then it didn't happen. I was like, for fuck's sake. This face-off, bear in mind what happened with the egg slap. This face-off would have been the biggest face-off ever in terms of numbers. It might have been the best one ever, and we've had some great ones, right? I mean, Chisora White's probably the best, or Froch Groves, but this one, considering what happened, because considering the heat between the two would have been sensational. I was so looking forward to it, and it's not happening. Although, I have heard whispers that it could happen when situations calm down a little bit in a couple of weeks' time. We'll see. But look, that's how a press conference should be. You shouldn't hear from the person in the middle. I probably spoke in total for about 2 minutes. You shouldn't hear from me. They should be short and sharp. That press conference was 30 minutes. That's all it was, 30 minutes. 30 minutes, that was it. What else do you need? You don't need anything longer. These ones that go on for hours and hours, I'm like, you don't need trainers on the stage. Most times you don't need a manager on the stage, and you need to let the press ask questions, and you need to let the fans in. That's it. It's actually quite simple. Honestly, it's actually quite simple. Let's clear up the Turkey phone number thing. So what happened was I'm on stage. I want to just kind of make this clear to you guys so everyone understands, right? You guys know I don't hide and shy away from anything. So I was on the stage. I'm obviously conducting the press conference. I'm trying my hardest. I'm listening because you got to listen, because if you're not listening, you might miss something, and you kind of want to throw it like he said, she said stuff, right? So the director is in my ear. Again, you guys know, I don't know if you do know, but I wear these. I wear this in my ear so I can hear everyone. So I wear two. So the director's in my ear, says, Ade, can you hear me? Nod if you can hear me. And by the way, the press conference is going, and I'm like, can hear you. He said, okay, Turkey is going to call you. Do you have your phone with you? How do I answer that? So I don't answer. And he says, okay, is it in your jacket pocket? Is it in your back pocket? This is what I'm doing during the press conference. He's talking to me. The crowd is all going up. He's talking to me. And I'm like, okay, is it on airplane mode? Okay, is there any way you can bring out your phone and put it on the table and turn it off airplane mode? This is while the fucking press conference is happening. I'm not joking. So I bring out my phone. You guys can watch the footage back. I bring out my phone. I put the phone there. I look down very briefly, turn it off airplane mode. And I'm thinking, fuck me, this is risky. What I'm doing is risky. The reason being, anyone could call. Imagine my phone just starts ringing. It did ring. It was a number I don't know, but I thought, okay, this has to be it, right? Opened it, and that's what we got Turkey on. And that's why it was all a bit like, it was all a bit fumbled. But it was fumbled because of all of that. I didn't expect it. It was like, yeah, I'm trying to conduct a press conference, and you guys are fucking telling me Turkey's going to call. Like, have some decorum. Have some professionalism. But no, look, it was outstanding. I look forward to today. I think there'll be a lot of press today, just because this is where the fight's going to take place. I think they're going to do a face-off of some sort on the pitch. And then I've got a few interviews to do. But look, I'm just super geeked and excited to be involved in these things. I think these things are incredible. And again, a lot of people ask me my opinion on the egg slap. I'm like, again, all fair in love and war. If you told me who was going to do a slap, I would have 100% said Conor's going to slap Chris. That's so out of character for Chris. And I'm going to ask him. I'm going to say, Chris, like, this isn't you. But obviously, it is him now. But yeah, look forward to it. I will try and stir the pot a little bit. I do want to hear a bit more from Ben and Eddie. And hopefully, if I ask Eddie a question, Chris doesn't shut him down, because we do want to hear what Eddie has to say. I want Eddie and Ben to fucking go at it. We don't really need Ronnie Shields. We don't really need Ronnie Davis on the stage. We don't need... Do we need Nigel? We don't need Nigel if Chris Eubank Sr. isn't there. We don't, do we? I don't think so. All right, anyway, should we quickly see what else there is to talk about before we wrap up? What's the time? Just coming up to 11 o'clock. Okay, we got a couple of hours before we need to head out. Yeah, look, Lamont Roach, Javonte Davis this weekend. Or should I say Javonte Davis, Lamont Roach? What's going on? Javonte is one of the faces of the sport. This shows that big promotion matters. Like, as much as they've kind of, they've tried, they've done a behind the scenes stuff. I think they've both gone on to, they've both gone on to like different type of platforms. And what I mean by, you got the traditional platforms, like you jump onto ESPN, you jump onto whatever. They haven't done that. They've kind of gone on to like almost YouTube platforms to promote the fight, which is different, gets numbers, gets eyeballs, but maybe they needed a big push across, I don't know what the American channels are, but across all of them. Because again, not many people are talking about this. I do think that the card in Saudi's had a bit of an effect, especially I've seen a lot of people talk about the pay-per-view price. I think this one is $80. Bear in mind, for 20 quid, look what you got on the weekend. Look what you got on the weekend compared to this for $80. Something needs to give there. Javonte seems, I don't know if the word's uninterested, but he doesn't seem he's, and maybe that's how he always is. Maybe it's just not having Floyd to do a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of talking. Leonard Ellaby, has he been around? I feel like I've not seen him. So maybe without those two, him having to kind of be front and center is almost taking its toll. And he's like, I just don't like doing this. So we'll see. But I really do look forward to the fight. Eddie Hearn says it's unlikely that Lewis Crocker, Paddy Donovan winner, will land Jaron Ennis. Yeah, I actually think Jaron, if he wins, will go to 154 and fight Virgil Ortiz. I do. I think there's a lot of money on the table for that fight. It's a big fight in America, that one. But Crocker, Donovan, mate. Honestly, guys, girls, atmosphere, I'm hearing it's going to be frightening. Frightening. What else have we got? Let's have a quick look. Anything else of interest? Not much. F.A. Jagba still in Martin Bakoli's sights. As trainer warns, he'll be back to being the boogeyman. Yeah, I read something the other day. This is no longer an IBF final eliminator. I don't know how much Bakoli cares about that. Jagba probably would care more. But ultimately, these guys just want to get paid. Like Martin Bakoli probably got paid for the Joseph Parker fight more than he's ever been paid for anything in boxing. Because some people say 2 million, some people say 3 million. I don't know, but it's a lot of money. And I don't think he would have got that for the Jared Anderson fight. Commission, WBC refute that Turki Al-Sheikh knew Carlos Adames, Hamza Shiraz scored. He didn't. And do I need to clear this up? Okay. I know a lot of people are saying he went round and he said to Hamza, you're 2 down. And he done that by looking at, he didn't. Where Turki sits, he has a TV screen in front of him. He has a TV screen. Chris Mannix's scorecard came up. And Chris Mannix's scorecard said Hamza was 2 down. I knew that and I saw that because I was there, right there. He then saw that shit and then he went to Hamza. People were acting like he went over to the judge's scorecard. No. I was there. Why do people make shit up? Don't get me wrong. What he did in terms of even going to Hamza, some people don't like. I get it. But we need to clear that up. He didn't look at the judge's scorecard. He saw Chris Mannix's scorecard appear on the screen and then he went to Hamza and said, you're 2 down. It was based on Mannix's scorecard. Again, I'm not trying to say that makes it right or wrong what he did, but let's just get the facts, please. Anything else? No, that's it. Done. All right, guys, girls.